This is how you complete the full Shattered Veil main Easter egg quest for Black Ops 6 Zombies. If you successfully manage to beat it, you get this awesome Carver skin called PH Deadly, which is the Pentagon Thief, a double tap machine charm, a Shattered Veil completion calling card, as well as the early completion calling card if you beat it before Season 3 Reloaded when the directed version releases. You also get 5000 XP as always. And similarly, like always, if you need any help with friends to play with, drop your Activision IDs in the comments below, and hopefully you can find some friends to grind together. With that being said, let's jump into it. I'm going to show you absolutely everything to be best prepared to conquer this quest. A detailed, hopefully foolproof guide, from setup to boss fight. First up, let's start with your recommended class setup to try and make things as smooth as possible. Of course, you can use your favorites at your own discretion. I would recommend as the primary weapon having the GS45 pistol. It's lightweight, packs a punch when upgraded, and shines in this quest. Ether Shroud is of course great, especially if you're on solo, a lifesaver for escaping tight spots. Now of course, luckily you can change your field upgrade mid-game, especially if you're playing solo, so you can do this, and when it's required in the Easter egg, you could switch to that and switch back to whichever one you would desire. But honestly, Ether Shroud is just the GOAT, especially for solo play, and it is a key requirement for some steps, so bear that in mind if you are playing solo. For tacticals, I would recommend bringing decoys to distract zombies or stim shots for quick healing. Both work great, it's dependent on your playstyle. For lethals, I would recommend the combat axe, as it's once again critical for some specific steps that I'll detail later, but if you would rather have something else, Semtexes are probably best. For Gobblegums in solo, I would recommend Killjoy to boost damage against specials, Shields Up for extra armor durability, Power Keg to juice your explosives, and Idolize to revive yourself if you go down. Huge for solo runs. For your 5th gum, I would recommend Wonder Bar to roll the dice for an early Mark II from the mystery box, or Perkaholic, which obviously would be great, especially to prepare yourself for the boss fight if you are worried about survival. In cooperative, every player is recommended to have Phoenix Up, of course, so you can revive down teammates instantly, and they keep their perks. And lastly, before we jump in, let's talk augments. For Stamina Up, I would recommend equipping Dasher to sprint faster, and Hotfoot to recover stamina quicker and keep you mobile. I would recommend having Dying Wish for quick revive, giving you a berserk mode to fight back when down instead of bleeding out, Probiotic for Juggernog to heal faster, and Hardened Plate for tougher armor, Vital for tanking hits. I would recommend Classic Formula for Speed Cola to reload faster, especially if you do choose to have the GS45 so you can keep that firing consistently. I would recommend having Doctor for PhD Flopper to reduce explosive damage, and Tribiologist to slide further, great for dodging the hordes, and especially great for weaving in the rituals and the boss fight. Double Tap is of course back finally with this map, and it's perfect pairing with Double Standard for higher fire rate, and Double Time to extend the effect. More bullets, more damage. Brain Rot's perfect with extension to make the zombies turn for longer, key for a later step which I'll come on to. Put extra charge for Ether Shroud, more uses per game, that's going to be very useful. If you are playing in a cooperative, definitely have Group Shroud to cloak your whole team. In solo, your second augment could be anything, it's not a big deal, choose what you like best. So with all of the setup out of the way, when you jump into the game, obviously the first thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and get yourself the Pack-a-Punch open. The game guides you towards it, repairing the elevator and getting down to the SAM AI in the mainframe room. However, if for any reason you still struggle with this, I do have a guide in this video's description, although if you're struggling with that, I highly doubt you're probably going to proceed with the rest. Once you've unlocked the SAM room and Pack-a-Punch, you now need to get a Raygun Mark II, and you can get this by random luck in the mystery box, whether you get lucky or using Wonder Bar, or you can get it via the free Raygun side quest. Now typically I would divert you to a separate video, but I figured I'm just going to explain how to do the full Raygun Mark II quest, and if you already know how to do it, you can just skip forward. So the first thing you need to do, now that you're in the mainframe area, if you make your way to round 10, there'll be a technician zombie that will spawn in, and when you kill it, it will drop a floppy disk that you need to pick up. After which, make your way over to the east foyer, and there's some computers here that you can interact with, and it will begin printing out a Project Janus message. During this, you're going to have a little bit of a lockdown here. You won't be trapped in, but there'll be vermin and parasites that will start spawning in, so be wary of them, and simply survive whilst it is printing. Once it's done printing, you are then able to interact with it, and it will display a message, and this message is from Blanchard, of which there'll be a 4-letter word in it that is all in capitals. It won't be the same every single game, however in this game in particular, it's spelled worm. So write down whatever word it is, or take a screenshot, or have a friend remember it for you. Whatever the case may be, you need to remember it. After you've remembered the word, you need to head over to the nursery, where you'll see a blackboard here, and on the blackboard board is going to be a bit of a puzzle that you need to work out, as you need to get a number code derived from the word. So on the blackboard, there's all of these different clusters of different letters, and essentially what you need to do is locate each different letter in order of the word and note down how many letters are in the cluster to be able to get the sequence. So for the first character, we have a W, and it's in a collection of 7 characters, so that's the first number. The second letter is O, which is in a group of 6 letters, so that's the second number. R is then in a cluster of 7 letters, so that's the third number. And fourth and finally, M is just there alone, so it's just 1. So the code in my game was 7671, but like I said, it's going to be different every single game. You might have a different word, or if you still have worm, it might be in a different set of clusters. And on screen right now, you can see all of the different possible words you can get, as well as the combinations, as the chalkboard is random, so it could change every single game, but this lineup you can see is always going to be the same. After you've worked out the code, write it down somewhere, or again, remember it, or have a friend remember it for you. Whatever the case may be, you need to remember this code. After which, head over to the service tunnel, and you'll see that there's a doppelgast behind this locked room, and it's just trapped within, which is quite funny. You can then go over to the number pad and input a code, so input the numbers you worked out. Like I said, in this case it's 7671, but it'll likely be different for you. After which the door will begin opening, there'll be a bunch of ghast, and you just need to kill this doppelgast, after which it'll drop his severed arm, which you can press square X or F to pick up. Now if you then head to the back of the service tunnel, come through to the supply depot where there is the armory, and you can enter the armory, and you've probably already entered here and seen the Raygun Mark II in the back here and not really known how to get it. Well, this is how you get it. Now you can go in and go ahead and grab yourself the Raygun Mark II. It's the standard version, the good old trusty Mark II. I'm so glad that it's back, and I can't wait for it to be added to the other maps as well. Now that you've gotten yourself a Raygun Mark II, you now need to upgrade the 3 different variants for it. This is a requirement to do all of them, regardless of whether you are playing on solo or in a multiplayer game. So this is how you do all of the upgrades. Anyways, you now need to obtain a canister, and there are 3 different ways that you can obtain a canister. It doesn't matter which one you do because they're not specific to which variants you want, but if you're wanting all 3 in a multiplayer game, you're going to have to do all 3. So the first way to get a canister is there are going to be these blue crystals that will spawn across the roof of the mansion, and you simply need to shoot these crystals down with the Mark II. These won't guarantee a canister, by the way, so you probably have to shoot many of them down, but they will give you loot such as equipment, salvage, etc. The first one can be found in front of the mansion itself by the southwest balcony. The other one can be found inside the conservatory just on the ceiling here, so shoot that one down. You can find another in the service tunnel, so you can shoot that one down there. Another one can be found just here over in the east foyer, so you can shoot that one down there. And this is where I get the empty canister in this game specifically. There may potentially be some other spawn locations for this as well. I'm not 100% sure. If you use a different weapon than the Mark II, you'll just get hit markers, so just look around the map if it's not in any of these. It shouldn't be too difficult to find because it's so massive. Now if you're in a solo game and you just want one Mark II, you can proceed, but here are the other 2 ways to get a canister. So the next one, you will need a Gersh device, a Casimir grenade, whether it be from loot, a crafting table, and you can get a free one from this dead soldier in the service tunnel if you don't want to go through that hassle. Now if you come over to the rear patio, all you want to do is throw the Casimir grenade, and you'll see the canister behind in this barrier, and if you throw the Casimir at it, it will simply suck it forward so that it's outside and you can then go ahead and pick it up. The third possible way to get a canister is the most complicated, and you'll once again need a piece of equipment, this time a tomahawk, which you can also get from 3 locations around the map, or simply use a crafting table or have it equipped to your loadout. And if you come into the mainframe chamber where the SAM AI is, and there is a crafting table here as well if you need to get a tomahawk from there, you will see that there is this pipe, and above it will be a letter which will either be A or B, and you need to remember which it is. So take a screenshot or note it down or just remember it. And if you then make your way into the service tunnel, if you look behind this gate here where there's a truck, you will see more pipes with A and B written on them, and there'll be gas leaking out of them, and you'll see there'll be a bunch of red wheels where you can channel where you want the gas to be by throwing the tomahawk at these wheels to turn them. And essentially you need to get the gas to go to A or B depending on which one is indicated in your game. So if you have A in your game, you need to have the wheel on the far left activated, then you need to have the wheel in the middle activated, and then the wheel on the top right activated with the bottom right wheel not activated. May take some playing around with, as well as getting your aim right to actually activate them. And then obviously, likewise for B, you basically need to do the same, but instead of having the top right wheel activated, you need to have the bottom right wheel activated with the top one deactivated. So you need to in total have the left one activated, the middle one activated, the bottom right activated, but not the top right. And you need to be very precise with hitting the tomahawk. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but you'll get used to it the more games you play. Now, if you come back to the mainframe chamber where the SAM AI is, if you come back by where the pipe was that had the letter on, you can then explode the chamber with a grenade, whether it be a Semtex or a regular grenade, whatever the case may be. Simply explode it, a load of gas will come out, and then you can pick up that canister there. So yeah, once you've gotten a canister from any of the three methods, you can then upgrade one of the Mark II upgrades. First of all, for the Mark IIW, this one offers a similar bullet pattern to a submachine gun and also has a random chance to ignite enemies with the Wraith fire. And this is the blue one. So with your canister, you need to then head to Shem's Henge and you can place it into this yellow holding machine, after which a HVT electric abomination will spawn in. And basically, instead of just killing it straight away, you need to lure it so that it will laser the three small rocks in the henge, which causes them to glow blue. So you just need to be careful lining them up quickly. But after you've made one glow blue, you just need to then align it so that you get it to do the charge attack on you, and then it rams into the blue rock, which causes it to break. Make sure you are targeting the shorter rocks, not the taller ones that are closer to the height of your character. So yeah, just repeat this process 3 times, and then a defense step will begin where you have to protect the center as a portal will spawn in and a bunch of vermin will start spawning in to try and disrupt the energy siphon. So watch out for the power extracted, and there's going to be a timer there, and you'll see that there'll be all of these wisps flowing out of the rocks into the portal, filling it up, and you just need to survive and defend it. Keep doing that until it reaches 100% within the time limit. After you have successfully done that, the portal will disappear, charging up the device that's in the ground there, and it will power up, and then you can go back over to the canister in the yellow machine and pick it up. You then can go through the service tunnel into the supply depot, and once again there's another crafting bench, and you can then begin to craft the Raygun Mark IIW, the blue variant. Moving along, this is how you get the Mark IIP variant, Preservation. This will turn your Mark II to shoot shotgun-like rounds with a chance to spawn a sigil with the ability to grant invulnerability to the player standing on it for a limited time. And this is the purple one. And for this, once again, there's going to be RNG, as there's random white boxes around the map that you probably ran into whilst playing the map, but there's a lot of possible spawn locations for them, and you just need to break open these boxes by shooting them or meleeing them, and one of them will randomly contain a bomb that you need to collect, but it's very frustrating that it can take so long to potentially find one. So I'm just going to show some gameplay in the background right now of all the possible spawn locations for the boxes.
You sprouted off a walking corpse. How'd you expect me to treat you?
Happy birthday, candy ass! We're out of cake, but we do got candle on.
So the next 2 items you need are 2 reflectors that can be found in the lion fountains on the map, and you can collect these before or after you have gotten the bomb. But one of these fountains can be found in the southwest balcony, so go ahead and collect the reflector from the lion fountain there. The other one can be found in the conservatory to the right of quick revive, so come up to it and collect the other reflector there. Once you have the bomb, if you head into the service tunnel, there is a wall here left to the armor wall by machine, and you can place the essence bomb down, which will blow open the cave. And there's a container here where you can place the empty canister. So go ahead and place the canister in, and after which a light beam will then project out, and there are 3 statues of Doppelgast that you must illuminate and destroy using this light beam. So come through the tunnel into this huge vast cavern. I'm so glad that the Easter eggs now are opening up new areas which we've not really seen much for a while in the Dark Ether story. And you can then go into this new area where there's actually a large statue of one of the worms from Modern Warfare zombies. This is the Serpent Mound that the mansion was chosen to be built on due to its history. Essentially, you need to use the reflectors you have just collected to redirect the light towards them. To do this, there are 3 different slots where you can use your 2 reflectors. You can also pick them back up whenever you wish. One is at the initial location of the light beam, another is on the same elevation near the canister machine, another is upper level where you can go through a side door. Once you've reflected all of the light correctly towards a Doppelgast statue, you then need to come up to it. It's glowing and you can melee the Ethereum shard that the light beam comes from. This will send an energy beam through the light beam's path, successfully destroying any statue it hits. After you do this, a Doppelgast will then spawn in as the statue turns real, and you simply need to kill it, so be wary and prepared for this. After you have killed the Doppelgast, the soul will be collected, and then you need to come over and melee this reflector right here, and you then need to go to the other side of the room and pick up the other reflector, which will once again cause it to come to life and spawn in. So once again, take out that Doppelgast, and that is 2 Doppelgast down, so come all the way through the tunnel up to the top and melee it, which will reflect the beam again to this other Doppelgast statue. You then need to come back down to the floor and melee the source crystal, and it will reflect to the 3rd Doppelgast statue, and you need to melee this crystal here once again, which will cause this 3rd Doppelgast to come to life, but this time it's going to be a HVT. So once again, you need to take that out, and the worm will all be glowing purple. It looks very, very cool. Definitely seems like there was a great war here long ago. But after you've collected all 3 souls of the Doppelgast, you definitely need to be prepared for the 3rd one. Now that the canister has been filled with the 3 Doppelgast souls, you can go back up to it and collect it. You need to come all the way into the director's quarters inside the mansion itself, and this is where you can go ahead and craft yourself the Raygun Mark P, which is pretty cool. Now the 3rd and final Raygun Mark II variant that you can obtain is the Toxic R variant, and this is the yellow one. So to charge the canister for this one, you need to get 4 seeds from the different Prima Materia plant pods around the map. There are many different spawn locations for them, and you need to blow them up with explosive damage, for example a Semtex, or the regular Mark II, or a rocket launcher, whatever the case may be. One of the possible spawn locations can be in the southwest balcony, so once you locate one, you just need to shoot it with the Mark II, or like I said, one of the other methods, but you should have the Mark II if you're doing this, but be wary if you've upgraded it to one of the other variants first. Another possible location can be in the garden pond, so again, you need to break open this plant pod, and you can go ahead and collect a seed there. Another spot can be found within Shem's Henge, just up here on the street going upwards on the rock, so you can go ahead and break that one there and get yourself a 3rd plant seed. Another spot can be found in the motor court that you can see on the tac map right here, and it can be found right in the corner by this wall, so you can break that one there and you can grab yourself another plant seed. Another spot can be found in the conservatory by the well. There can be a few other spots in Shem's Henge back by where the other one was. There can be a few spots by the well in the conservatory. In the garden pond, there can be a few spots underneath the bridge or to the right and left of it. In the motor court, there are many spawns that are all along both sides of the wall. Many different spawn locations there, leading up to the mansion itself. And within the southwest balcony, there's quite a few spots all over the outer banks, as well as by the tree and in the corners. In the rear patio, once again, there's quite a few spots around here. But yeah, basically, they're just in pretty much all of the locations locations outside of the map, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find 4 of them. But once you've managed to get yourself some seeds, you can then come over to the conservatory, where there's all of this biotech, which I guess was prototype technology, where Richtofen was trying to clone his son. This is for the Wraith fire one. Now you can place the canister into this machine here, and you can actually do this before getting the seeds, you just won't be able to do anything. And there are many different incubators within this room. So you've got one just here by the ammo crate. There is then one behind it in this other room back here in front of the well. And then if you head down the stairs, down to the lower elevation, come through and you'll find another one here. And then you can place the seeds into any one of these incubators and it will start a toxic spores harvesting event where you'll have a bit of a lockdown and basically you just need to defend, as there's going to be a bunch of zombies coming in trying to attack all of the incubators. So you need to simply protect all of them to allow the toxic spores to be harvested. And you need to be ready for this. It is going to be difficult, so make sure you have adequate perks, weaponry, gobblegums, score streaks, etc. But basically the spore is going to keep growing and eventually it will fill up, which you'll see on the meter bar. When it is, you will see that there's a big pod in it and you'll be done with that, and you can then go over to one of the other incubators and place a seed within it again and repeat this step. So it will continually start to grow, and once again you just need to keep defending it from all of the incoming zombies until it has grown. After that is done, the bar will fill up once again and you can plant another seed to begin another lockdown process in another incubator. So once again just keep defending it from all of the incoming zombie hordes, and eventually after doing all of that the objective will be completed, the pod will burst and you'll be done with those tedious lockdowns, and you can come back to the canister and you can now pick up the toxic canister. Now if you make your way to the garden pond, you can come over to this workbench here and you can assemble the parts for the ray gun Mark II-R. So press X to craft and then you can press X to use. You'll begin crafting it and you can then pick up the Mark II-R. This will shoot these long-ranging high damage shots with a marksman rifle-like discharge, and there is also a chance to spread a plague infection that can inflict area of effect damage. So with each upgraded ray gun Mark II variant, there is a ritual that requires you to have each of the upgraded weapons in hand. So this is fine if you're in a multiplayer game because of course one player can just keep each of them, but if you're in a solo game, these rituals I'm about to show you tied to the ray gun Mark II variant, you should probably handle one at a time. Don't swap out your variant until the ritual is completed. Every single variant is needed to change the sentinel artifact. The ray gun Mark II upgrades are pretty much the entirety of the main quest. The other half is each of the associated rituals for each of them. So there are 3 different rituals tied to each of the ray gun Mark II variants, excluding the base one. And you need to do each of these rituals with that variant in hand, so bear that in mind, as each variant is needed to charge the sentinel artifact with prima materia. So first of all we have the Mark II W, aka the Wraith Fire ritual. Grab the W from the supply depot, zipline to the banquet hall, enter the fancy dining room near the elevator shaft. Here you now need to find a sconce, which is a small lamp inside a wooden box below and left of the deer heads on the wall near the gobblegum machine. Interact to pick it up. Then head to the grand foyer's lower level, a massive open area with stairs, and find a wall next to Juggernog. There's a sconce mounted and an empty slot. Place yours in it. You will then have to complete 3 waves of Simon Says, which, if you are an avid Zombies fan, you are very familiar with Simon Says. Sconces light up in a sequence and you need to watch them carefully, then interact with them in that order, matching it. For example, if you have left, right, left, you then need to hit the left, then right, then left when it's up. If you mess it up, it resets, taking around 10 to 15 seconds per wave. After repeating this 3 times, the wall slides open up, revealing a distillery room with a painting and a server computer on the left. With the ray gun Mark II W equipped, interact with the server. Then kill 5 to 10 zombies nearby with its fiery blast. The painting will vanish, showing a blue portal opening up. This is your first liminal space. Although you can do these in any particular order, you don't need to match how I'm doing them in the video, but like I said, there's 3 rituals you have to do. Once you've opened up this rift, step through to a past version of the room, the liminal space. A ghostly figure will be here who wants a drink at the bar. So then head to the study near the library, the bug-filled room of the grand foyer, and you need to find a small bell in one of 8 spots. And in the gameplay in the background, I'll be showing you all of the spots for where you can find a bell. So one is just by this toppled chair in the study right here. Another one could be right below this curtain, below the TVs. Another one could be in this cabinet for the fine plates. Another one could be in this smashed window right here. Another one could be in this other smashed window right here, as you can see. Then if we come back through the study, another one could be right here again in this smashed window. And you can see on the tac map where I am on screen. There might be some other missing locations, but it's all in this close vicinity, so you should be able to find it. Once you have managed to successfully find it, head to the upper level of the grand foyer, where you can find the bar in the corner. Interact with the bar, which will place the bell down and allow you to ring it. Now there is an Easter egg here where you can ring it 115 times and it will give you a free perk, which I definitely would recommend doing. After you've done this, you must now have the brain rot ammo mod on your weapon, so you need to apply it if you don't already. At the time of writing this, there is a glitch where if you are using the pheromone augment for brain rot, it will not allow you to complete this step. It might be changed by the time you are watching. I'm not sure if it has been patched already. You must then shoot a zombie with brain rot near the bar and then ring the bell as you do so. The zombie will serve you the ritual item. You can now head through the blue portal and find the stone pedestal to place the ritual item on. This will spawn a high value target which has a shield, making him immune to damage. This shield, which you must destroy to make him vulnerable to damage, can only be destroyed with the Mark II-W, the Wraith Fire variant, which is why it's required. So once you have killed him, you can then interact with the partially powered up Sentinel artifact on the pedestal. The ritual is now complete and is partially filled with some premium materia. Moving along, for the R variant's ritual, you obviously need to craft the R at spawn, and then head to the library and interact with the server on the left of the painting. With the R Mark II in hand, interact with the server on the left side of the painting. This will activate the painting, again opening up another liminal space. You must now use your Mark II R to kill zombies nearby. 5 to 10 zombies nearby with its toxic shots. After killing enough, the painting will disappear, revealing a yellow portal to a past version of the same room, once again with a spirit you must fulfill the quest of. Now you must have Ether Shroud and you need to activate it here to find 3 glowing items, or just wait until after it ends to see these 3 glowing blue items, which are an ID badge in an unlit fireplace, check underneath the east foyer under the stairs, the banquet hall near the tables, or the study by the books. You also need to find an audio log on a couch by the yellow portal or a desk next to the overlooked bar. And you need to find a ledger on a desk in the study near the fireplace or east foyer by the fax machine. Collecting all 3 takes some running. In the past library, spot 3 white books on a shelf with symbols and note their positions. Back in the real library, find those books, they are interactable. Brute force the order, try sequences, e.g. left, middle, right, right, left, middle, until each slides out slightly. No penalty, just keep going. It takes probably 5 or 10 tries. There's probably a better way to do this, but this is the run now. Once you have knocked all 3 out, the bookshelf swings open and grab the secret documents inside, a stack of papers. You now need to be quite prepared, so probably have Juggernog, Speakholer, etc. and Deadshot Daiquiri will really help for aim assist here. Place the documents on the yellow room's pedestal and an amalgam will spawn in, a hulking zombie with a yellow shield. Use the Mark II R to break it, which requires about 15 to 20 shots. Train it around the room, run a loop from the pedestal to corners, keeping a distance. Headshots drop glass clouds, which is why Deadshot's so necessary, extra damage if it walks through. Hitting its head or body takes about 50 to 60 shots in total. Once you manage to successfully kill it, grab the Sentinel artifact from the pedestal, and there you have your second ritual completed. Now for the Mark II P ritual, Preservation. Obviously you need to grab the P from the director's quarters, go to the banquet hall near the elevator, a long table room, and find a painting with a server on its left side. Equip the Mark II P. Interact and kill 5 to 10 zombies nearby with its shotgun blast. The painting opens up a purple portal. Step through and grab the ritual elixir, a red bottle, on the table's center. You now need to find 3 chalices. One in the bottlery near the P workbench, a small room with barrels, on a table. One can be found on a bench in the garden pond at the overlook, on the upper level of the grand foyer by the bar. Another one can be found above the mansion's front door, on the grand foyer's second floor near the spawn bridge. Look up and you'll find it here on this ledge. You need to interact with each to pour the elixir, which will spawn in an elder disciple. An epic fight, much harder than disciples of the past. Again, very recommended to aim down sight, so you probably should have Deadshot. With headshots, it takes about 10 to 15 shots from the Mark II P each, but of course you are going to have to deal with 3 of them, 1 per item. Once you have successfully managed to kill all 3, you now need to return to the past vast banquet hall via the purple portal. At the far end, there are 3 paintings, left, middle, and right, and these show numbers in the real world. Check them out and take note of them. There are 3 double-digit codes, which for example could be 12, 34, 56. You need to write them from left to right. So write it down or try and remember them or have a friend remember it for you, after which, near death perception, you need to find a safe on the floor and input the code that you received. XX, YY, ZZ, whatever it is for you. It clicks open, revealing an antler carving. Pick it up, place it on the purple room's pedestal, and an elder disciple will spawn with a shield. Shoot the shield off with the Mark II P, which will take about 15 to 20 shots. Once again, train on the floor, circling the room, climb the table, aim for its head, which will be about 10 shots, and you just need to keep repeating that until it's dead. After done, grab the sentinel artifact and your 3rd ritual will be done. You are finally ready to enter the infamous boss fight. Take your time here, don't rush and go in. If you or any of your teammates, if you're playing in a multiplayer game, are not ready, wait it out, as this Z-Rex fight is extremely tough. Yes, that's right, we are finally fighting a dinosaur in zombies, something the community has been asking for so long, and this is one of the most epic fights we've ever received, and you need to prepare meticulously. Definitely have Juggernog, Double Tap, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, PhD, Quick Revive, and Deadshot. If you need to leave the other perks out, by all means, but these ones are a must. I would definitely recommend having the Mark II W and Pack-a-Punching it to tier 3. This is going to be extremely useful, and this is by far the best Mark II variant, and I would recommend also having, as he said at the start of this video, the GS45, and I would recommend getting it to Pack-a-Punch tier 2 at least. For Gobblegums, I would recommend for the fight, Idolize, Power Keg, Shields Up, or Killjoy, and Cooperative, obviously Phoenix Up. Again, I said similar at the start of this video, but now we're here in the fight, I'm sure some skip that. I would also definitely recommend having Casimir grenades. They're going to be really useful in clearing out a lot of the zombies, and to get them from the crafting table if you don't have them already. If you haven't unlocked them yet, which I assume you probably would considering you're watching this video, then Semtexes or C4s are probably good for your lethal. I would also really recommend bringing a chopper gunner into this fight. This is going to be really useful for clearing and also attacking the Z-Rex. If you get it lucky from a box, save it, as it's better to save your salvage instead of spending it on that. I would also recommend stocking about 15 to 20,000 points for ammo crates to buy during the fight to help you out. Once you feel ready and prepared and confident, you now need to head into the SAM room and you can place the fully charged Sentinel artifact. A bright orb will appear on either computer console or in front of Sam, and you will then get the first of 2 cutscenes. This one is awesome, so definitely enjoy it. I'm not going to spoil it here if you want to do it for your first time, but obviously I can't do this guide without spoiling the boss fight, which, like I said, is the epic Z-Rex, which comes to life in that cutscene due to the residual energy. Now in the fight itself, Richthofen is above you on the cliff face, and he'll be helping sniping zombies, dropping armor plates and ammo occasionally. So watch out for these green boxes for him helping you out. Now I'm so glad that Richthofen is back. I'm hoping this is sort of an indication he could even be playable on Janus Towers, the next map. I'm really hoping. In terms of the boss fight itself, there are 4 different phases, and it's a must to be shooting the Z-Rex's eyes with the Mark II W for double damage. This is the best way you'll get his health down, and the biggest tip is when he eats normal zombies, they dangle as toxic zombies in his ribs, and if you shoot them and blast them with the Mark II, it'll inflict massive damage, stopping his vomit attack, keeping the area clear. So in phase 1, he will be jumping at you, so you need to watch him rear back and just be sliding left or right with PhD continuously. Your movement is really crucial here, and having your PhD augments upgraded. Avoid his 1-down hit, which is survivable if you are only clipped, which is why weaving is so recommended. But yes, it can 1-hit down you, so watch out for its stomp. It will also spew out gas, yellow circles that form. If you are trapped, sprint out or die in seconds. Like I said before, he can also eat zombies, and his yellow stomach bubbles will appear. Shoot them until they fade, which takes about 10 to 12 shots. Now throughout phase 1, just be turning him around, taking your time, being cautious, run a wide circle around the arena's edge, and just be trying to hit his eyes and stomach as much as possible, whilst keeping track of your ammunition, restocking at the ammo crate regularly near the center, the green box. He will jump out after a quarter health, spewing gas, and shoot him briefly before he then becomes immune, and zombies will spawn in spin for 45 seconds, which you need to just survive before transitioning into phase 2, which is basically the same moves, however, he just becomes a lot faster. Once again, try and target his eyes and his rare stomach critical hits. He will roar green and jump out, then we transition into phase 3 where he becomes the most aggressive yet and will spawn in a load of toxic zombies, and his eyes and stomach critical hits are ready more often. His stomach cools down slightly, but just keep a massive distance throughout this. Pop Idolize or Ether Shroud if cornered, and like I said, you should bring your chopper gunner into the fight, and I would recommend saving it for phase 4, so don't use it yet unless you are desperate, because once you manage to make your way to phase 4, it's going to be relentless, as there's going to be toxic pools of acid everywhere, slowing and damaging you. But just try and play it normal, play it calm, just train and shoot the zombies, know your arena, know your space, be using those PhD slides in all directions, omni movement to your advantage. That's going to be really crucial in avoiding his attacks and staying away from him because he's so aggressive and so quick. But once you've managed to train and shoot, then use the chopper gunner, finally activate it and aim the reticle at the Z-Rex, spraying him down. If he is not dead after this, if he survives, pop Ether Shroud for invisibility, Idolize to self-revive, or keep running if you get stuck. Once again, just continuously be trying to aim for his eyes. Now, he can also do an attack where he will flick you up above his mouth and he can eat you. Really watch out for that. And as a side note, there is a cool side Easter egg associated with this boss fight where you can actually ride the Z-Rex. When he flicks you up behind, you just need to press square X or F, the interact button, as you are above, and you will start riding him, and he will run around with you. However, if you start meleeing the Z-Rex, it will then kick you off. This is probably the best way if you want to do a melee only strat, and is a really cool feature of the fight, but it's not particularly useful in trying to take it out easier. I guess if you end up in this situation on low health, just try and interact because you'll be safe for a second potentially. But that's really, really cool. But yeah, if you manage to successfully kill it, it will then crumble back down to his fossil skeletal state. You'll get the tooth as a piece of intel, and like all the previous maps, the game will then give you a choice whether you want to exit or continue playing. If you continue playing, you'll spawn back in and there'll be a bunch of ether crystals, ether tools, legendary, fully pack-a-punched weapons, and you'll get all of the perks. You'll be ready to keep on playing. Lots and lots of fun. And if you've managed to complete the main quest and you still want an additional challenge, if you actually do the full Easter egg and get up to the last step before round 100, and you need to surpass round 100 for this, you need to survive round 100, you can then initiate the boss fight by giving the Sentinel artifact to Sam, and this will be a much harder boss fight. From round 101 onwards, you'll get this super hard version of it. Now, unfortunately, there's no exclusive rewards you can obtain for doing it, so it's just a personal challenge, but if you're up for it, this is something you can do. As after the first phase, the Z-Rex will then enrage, and you'll hear the scream tear them to pieces like a special round, and the arena will then go green and it will get much harder. It will always be on rampage mode. It will be moving a lot quicker. I don't think it has more health, but it's a lot more aggressive, always keeping you on your toes. So this is a really cool challenge if you want to do this. Of course, there were rumors all the way back in the day about around 100 Hitler boss fight on Kino de Toten, which is wild. And Treyarch have finally added something like this in the game, and this was all put in by Andrew Hoyt, who coded this whole boss fight, and this is such a cool feature. I really hope that Treyarch do more stuff like this. Unfortunately, you don't get any special reward for completing this hardcore version of the boss fight, but it's just a really good challenge, and maybe Treyarch, seeing the good reception from this one, can do some more in the future and hopefully add some rewards for them as well. It would have been a good opportunity for a Dark Ops, for example. Anyways, hopefully this has helped you beat the Shattered Veil Easter egg. If you need any help with anything, like I said, just drop comments in the comment section and hopefully I or someone else can help you out. As well as if you have any questions, or you're stuck on anything, or you just want people to play with. Like I said, leave your Activision IDs and hopefully you can grab some good players to do this. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for some great Call of Duty news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.